Then it says, and what communion have light with darkness? Where do you find darkness? Anywhere that the light doth not shine. That's where you find darkness. You can't find light and darkness in the same room. Doesn't fit. They don't associate. You turn the light on, darkness flees. Turn the light out, what happens? Darkness comes right on in immediately. Isn't that something? As soon as you turn the light out, immediately, darkness takes over. As soon as you turn the light on, light takes over. It has the greater power. And so you cannot be unequally married to someone that does not believe in God. If you are a saved, sanctified, kept by the power of God, and as they say, Jesus is the head of my life. If Jesus is the head of your life, then you cannot be yoked with the devil. Because if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, who is he? He's none of his. So, relax and be found. Amen. You know, for every woman there's a man, and for every man there's a woman. Just like for every bird there's a worm, but he's not in the nest. Got to flap his wings and go out. And the early bird gets the worm. The rest of them starve. Do you know why? You know why that is? The early bird gets the worm. Because the worm comes out at night and he crawls around. In the daytime he go back in the hole. So the early bird can catch that worm before he get back in the hole. That's interesting, isn't it? Next question. Yes, Steve.
I was thinking about decisions you make after
you got a question or you got a statement? Okay.
That was the decision you make about your children. Because I remember I wanted both my boys to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I wanted John to play football. And Marshall's been wanting to play.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you're too small, he will get hurt. This is Marshall boy will get hurt. I need to support, but I don't want to play. So I told him, I said, I'll sneak him. And I said, somehow I'm not going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted him to play, you know. Mm. But if the wife disagreed with you on that, so I had to, I had to give him a little take, Because her impression, he was too small, he'd get hurt. And I said, Mark, this boy gonna get hurt, this boy let him play, And then I said, now if I sneak him out there, he get hurt. I never heard any of that. So.
Now let me ask you this. You wanted him to play sports to live out a dream in him, or did you want him to just be involved?
Just get involved. Because I play sports.
Because a lot of people try to live out, they like you said, you played sports and you only went so far. And today, if you play sports, you can go a whole lot further, And a lot of times they live out their extended life through their kids. Man, if he gets into the pro, we'd be sitting pretty. I ain't got to worry about nothing. I'll be his manager, I'll be his secretary, I'll be his banker, I'll be everything.
It's just like DJs. Now, suppose DJs want to play football or something like that. And Mr. Davis now how much to play. And he got real earning to play.
But he wants to play soccer. He plays soccer. Yes, Diggy Paul.
I can answer that. I remember we wanted to play ball,
Mm-hmm.
and I think his mother went to Miss Shaw and said, boys want to play sports, play basketball. So let them put a court up in the backyard, play there.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about that.
See, that's where the temptation comes.
I tell you what, it never bothered me. It never bothered me that we didn't play sports. It didn't even bother me. There was baseball, there was football. My mom could hit the ball further than any individual that I ever seen play the game. And she'd get out there with us, and I'd pitch her the ball, and she'd sock it, and down all the way to the road almost, she could hit that ball. And then she would run all around the base. She loved to play baseball. She didn't play basketball. We had a basketball rack out on the garage. We played till it got dark.
Start with the tailback.
Dust. We didn't have no concrete either. It was dirt. When we got finished with it, it was hard packed, dusty. But we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. It never bothered me one bit that we were not permitted to play sport outside. And Dick Ball, he was a hardcore basketball. Oh, he used to take those, shooting from the corner.
Make you face the nation.
And we enjoyed playing against each other. And we did, sometimes till it was dark. Couldn't see. We'd have to give it up. We didn't have lights back in that day. We never even thought about putting a light out there. Then we used to come up to Mr. Gordon's house. They had a light out there. We used to stay up there and play basketball. We got older. And none of those guys, I guess the youth six might have played ball. Randy, who was Randy and
Randy Walker.
yep, they played organized, but only thing we did, we played ball up there at Mr. Gordon's house.
But I think I did do that because Marsha, she loved football as much as I do. She sitting there with me and John in the field, she being there with us, like, she loved it.
Love to watch, but she don't want her sons out there. Mothers are very protective. Sometimes I think they're too protective. Like you said, she thought it was too small. But I think mothers can be too protective. Like this classmate of mine who didn't want her grandson to wear short pants because he might scar up his legs. Say, oh, let the boy go outside and play. I don't want him to scar up his legs. Put those pants on. That's too protective. Kid gonna fall down, kid gonna scar up. That's why they made Band-Aids. Amen. Put a Band-Aid on. And so that's left up to the parent. If that's what they, want to do, like Mariah does gymnastics, So I asked her, she said she's getting ready to go to school now. So I said, well, what are you going to do about Wednesday gymnastics? Well, I'm going to ask my teacher to let me off on Wednesday. I said, I don't know if your teacher's going to let you out of class just to go to take gymnastics. But she's thinking. She's thinking. But that's, parents, sports is good, but don't turn these Jesus to get your sport. That's the key. Next question. Yes.
God bless you. This was based on one of the first questions as far as the checking account.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I put your name on, and both of our names on the checking account. And I remember being at work one time where I had forgot that I need to pay a bill and I had forgotten my checkbook or something like that. So it worked out because I called you and I said, you can sign the check, So.
And I didn't even know I could sign the check.
I